Thanks for coming by and checking out Pete Snakebite Kid again. This YouTube channel is about cobras, mostly my Cobra. It's a Hurricane Motorsports Cobra, and it's pretty much done. It's show worthy. It's missing a couple things. But I'm getting in the finishing touches on this thing. And one of the touches I'm putting on, it was missing. It's one of those earmarks of a big block Cobra. A big block Cobra you expect to see the Lamaze gas cap. You expect to see a roll bar. You expect a hood scoop. Expect some pretty good sized tires, some fender flares, and an engine oil cooler. And up till now, this thing has not had an engine oil cooler. And hey, nobody's busted my chops on that on my YouTube channel. Thank you for not mentioning it. But we're going to rectify that. Okay, so as a Cobra owner, you get asked a number of questions over and over. Do you want to race that thing? I hear that once in a while. Is that a real Cobra? I hear that. And is it a kit? So first of all, if they ask if I want to race, I just ask them why, because the answer is obvious. Anyway, the other thing they ask, is it real? And, I say, hey, no, it's not. And I'm not a millionaire and those kind of things. But honestly, I want to talk a little bit about why it's kind of weird to have somebody say, is it a kit car? Why is that a weird question for somebody that built a kit car? We'll cover that. If you built a kit car, you'll understand this. If you haven't built one and you've asked somebody if it's a kit and they look at you like they're about ready to choke you out, I want to explain why. Yes, it is a kit car. But in a lot of people's minds, I believe that conjures up something that you buy the parts for and you put it together. It couldn't be further from the truth. This is just one example of probably 100 things that I either had to fabricate, figure out how it fits, or make it work. It ain't like putting together a model. It really is overwhelming at times. Hey, there are times I was so frustrated with this project. If you'd have rolled up on my driveway at the right time, and if you had 2 tickets to Oahu and a week on the beach in Waikiki, you'd have had about $50,000 worth of Cobra parts I would have traded you for. All right, let's get started on putting this engine oil cooler in. We got to make a bunch of stuff. I've got to be dragging things in and out of that opening. I want to protect it with blue tape. Blue tape is very cheap in comparison to paint damage. The next thing is get some cardboard. Go spend $5 on some cardboard if you have to. As you can see, I made this out of 2 pieces of cardboard to have the right square footage that I needed. It makes it a lot easier. The other thing is, as I'm dragging things in and out, I'm dragging a piece of cardboard in and out, not aluminum, with sharp edges, less chance for damage. So I don't hate nuts and bolts, but you may think so if you've been watching this very long. I use rib nuts or nut certs, whatever you want to call them, whenever I have the chance. Having a nut and a bolt when you don't have to have it, I think, is just a waste of time and it's frustration. So you can see I put a lot of rib nuts in here where the braces mount onto the body, where pieces go through the aluminum mount for the cooler and so on. I think it's a cleaner look, and it sure is easier to take apart and put back together. The cardboard got me very close. Cardboard and aluminum have different properties. One of those is if the cardboard's running into something and it's bending up a little on the edge. I mean, picture, I've got my head inside the nose upside down. You can't really tell. So I couldn't make it exact, but I got the finished trimming done with the aluminum piece, but that was 10% of the trimming. We've got the oil cooler mounted and the lines. I think it looked pretty clean. The other thing I like is it's pretty sealed up as far as the air coming in the nose and either getting directed directly into the radiator or directly into the engine oil cooler. And I guess I gotta say I'm busted. This isn't actually an engine oil cooler, it's an oil fooler. I do not have it hooked up to the engine yet. I have not gotten this thing to 100 degrees Celsius, like over 200 degrees on the oil temperature yet. I really don't think I need one. One of my winter projects will be installing a thermostat and hooking this thing up the way it should be. You might notice in the finish shots that the radiator looks to be blacked out. Well, it's this cool little piece. It's like this corrugated honeycomb cardboard kind of stuff. Hey, I found this on Dan's Garage. Another guy building a Cobra and doing a really good job if you want to check out his YouTube. He shared this on his site. Here's a part number for that if you need to get one for yours. Thanks, Dan. The plate that I fabricated to mount the cooler to, you can see there I anchored it to the body. Those screws go through right there above the opening for the cooler. For the back of that plate, I've got these brackets I made. They mount to the frame there, and then they come up in kind of a Z pattern, and then they anchor into the back there and there, and it feels pretty rigid. So now I've got it all done as a finished product. I'd ordered some stainless button heads, and I've got it all mounted up with that. I think it looks pretty clean. Definitely feels like it's in there to stay. Take a look at the top here. Lines go up that way. Another line goes up that way. I'm not going to tell you where they go. And there's the overall look.